got it. I'm looking for a unification bout. I want one champion, one face, one name, and he go by the name of Deontay Wilder. The heavyweight division.
We've done it. We've unified it. It's like, and as I said, like in the space of 20-odd fights, he's had 40-odd fights, and I'm like, how come he hasn't managed to unify the division yet? So if he's looking for it, we're the ones to do it with, and we're not hard to find. We've got a great team behind us, so reach out.
One face, one name, and he go.
I agree with him. Even though there are two at the minute, I'll let the people decide who they think is the real heavyweight champion right now.
The heavyweight division is too small to have so many belts lingering around.
And I agree with him again. That's why I've gone around collecting the majority of them.
Shout out to my dude, Sultan Mur, for coming through in the Patreon. Anyone else who wants to join the team, gang, patreon.com/the YB. You can request content, interact with the YB, and see some exclusive content. Oh my gosh, so we just heard there from Anthony El Patron Joshua. Anthony, how has this dude had 40 fights and not done a lick of unification, Joshua? Now, this right here is, in fact, this whole interview, I'm going to obviously break it up into different parts, but this whole interview is what we call on point. Out of all the AJ interviews, this right here was, I can't really fault it, to be honest with you. Every single thing he said throughout this interview, not just this clip, was on point. And this was another one. This particular part was on point. Wilder. Oh, man. Oh, we want one face, one name, one champion. How long has he been saying that? It's like this man, I feel sorry for him because obviously he's psychologically challenged and he's got learning issues because he's been saying this since 2015. Oh, man. Oh, one face, one name, one champion. How many contracts did Deontay Wilder send to Joseph Parker? How many? Just tell me how many. Was it one? Was it two? Was it three? It was none. How many? And the reason I'm going through this now is to point out, just for you people who don't get it, you LDBC retards who don't understand, the reason we're having to break it down is to educate you, man. Wilder won the belt in January 2015. Ever since then, he's been saying, oh, man, oh, one face, one name, one champion. So, all we want to do, I'm looking to unify. There's only one thing on my mind, that's unification. One thing on your mind, unification. What with Luis Ortiz, a man who's never won a belt? What with Tyson Fury, a man with no belts? Shot to pieces, by the way, as well. Or who else? Oh, Dominic Bumzeel. No good. No belts, neither. So which part, in fact, at what point, throughout this last 4.5 years, have you tried to unify? Oh, man, one face, one, we're looking to unify. Okay, as I was about to, let me carry on now. Joseph Parker, he was a champion, WBO. How many contracts were sent for you to fulfill this one name, one champion BS? None was sent. Let me answer that for you. Vladimir Klitschko, when he had all the belts, how many contracts were sent? In fact, never mind contracts. Your team was too busy saying, oh man, Deontay's a little baby. Even though he was like 32 years old and about 50 fights deep. Oh man, Deontay Wilder, he's a little baby. We don't want Klitschko to knock us out like he did in sparring again. You've heard the clip there. Shelley Winkle crying about how Wilder's too young, even though he's as old as you get. Deontay Wilder's going to go down as probably the oldest heavyweight champion in history. Old as you like he was. No joke. 32. Mike Tyson was 19 or something. No, on a serious note, yeah. Deontay Wilder is one of the oldest heavyweight champions in history. Well old, like 31. Who does that? Old people do that. Let me answer that for you. But anyway, back to it. Parker, no contracts. Vlad, no contracts. Vitali, no contracts. Who else we got? It was AJ got the WBA, then he got the WBO. In fact, I've missed the best one. What do we know? The best one. This one was a classic, yeah. Charles Martin. When Charles Martin beat, was it Glasgow or whoever it was? When Charles Martin fought for the IBF title, he was an Al Heyman fighter. He won the belt, he won the IBF belt, and at that point, you had essentially Al Heyman had both Wilder and Charles Martin. I work this earth like a god. That dude there, that bum-ass dude who came to the UK and got smoked. But anyway, the point is, if Wilder had any bit of one face, one name, one champion, what happened to that? What happened to that? Why couldn't that fight be made? Someone please explain. We know how Heyman loves inside fights. Why was Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder not made? And in fact, never mind not being made, someone please let me know. Just like the Joseph Parker fight, how many contracts were sent from Deontay Wilder to Charles Martin? Please, someone inform me. I'm confused here. I don't understand what's going on. Oh, man. One face, one name, one champion. Where was the contract then? And that's what I love about AJ and Eddie Hearn, is the fact that, and this is why people can sit there and say, oh, YB, you're a fango. Genuinely speaking, yeah, man can say what you want. I go with based on evidence. When I said Tyson Fury was shot, I showed you the evidence. I showed you a man's knees, a so-called athlete's knees buckling, stiff. Yeah, crystallized knees. If you man want to watch that and deduce he's not shot, that's your prerogative. All I'm saying is I go based on evidence. And as I was saying, that's why I rate AJ and Eddie Hearn, because what do we know? Whatever's happened in their career, they leave a paper trail. And the paper trail, you can't argue with a paper trail. Yeah, when Dillian White was offered $5 million to fight AJ, didn't want it. The paper trail's there. You can't argue with that. Simple. When Anthony Joshua sent Wilder a 3 times career record payday, even a $15 million offer, even today, a $15 million payday to Wilder is still 3 times his highest payday. Facts. Bottom line, even today, 2 years later, it's still a record payday for Wilder, no doubt. But never mind that. What else do we know? 15 million was sent, a $100 million offer was sent. All the paper trail, time and time again, everyone gets a paper trail. Ortiz, paper trail, $8 million. And even now, since Dillian White teamed up with Eddie Hearn, even he's got a paper trail. Wilder offered, I think, $7 million, $8 million. Ortiz, similarly, offered a pay-per-view opportunity. And that's 2 individuals. Dillian White and AJ have a solid paper trail. Wilder, on the other hand, he has literally never sent no offers to no one. There has never been, never mind, I talk about contracts, never mind contracts, you just show me a public offer made. Show me a public offer made from Wilder to Parker, or Wilder to Charles Martin, or Wilder to Vlad, or Wilder to Vitali. There is none, and that is ultimately the crux of what we're talking about here. That there is the proof that Wilder is literally all talk, and he don't want to do nothing. Because the very bare minimum, if you had any real motivation to do something, you could at least say, listen, I'm coming on Instagram, let me put an offer out there. And the crazy thing was, fair play to Wilder, he did actually try that one when he sent off, when he talked about the $50 million. But then, the problem with Wilder thought, oh man, I don't know what to do. I'll just try and bluff. I'll send a bluff offer out. But unfortunately, you only can bluff someone who is also bluffing. Does that make sense? If Anthony Joshua was also bluffing when he was sending offers, then Wilder's little trick would have worked, because Wilder would have come out, offered the 50 million, and AJ and Eddie Hearn would have said, oh crap, they've called our bluff. And all we would have heard is AJ being quiet. He wouldn't have said nothing because his bluff would have been called. However, unfortunately, AJ wants all the problems. AJ's ready. Anthony the Wilder cheek buster Joshua, he's looking to split cheeks. Simple as that. He's looking to split Wilder's cheeks all the way up. Yeah? He's looking to split them into east and west. That's what's going to happen. No doubt. So what happened then? Oh, and that's how... I feel sorry for Wilder. So after that whole 50 million business happened, I do feel sorry for him, because the way his whole team capitulated, it was embarrassing, man. It was truly embarrassing. They sent this offer out, yeah, and the minute Eddie Hearn and AJ reached out, they just fell to pieces. Oh, Mano, you got 24 hours. Oh, Mano, you got to sign now. Oh, you got to agree to terms now. Oh, you can't see a contract. Oh, you can't meet in person. Have you ever seen anything like that before? I've never seen, genuinely. His team I don't even think it's fair to call them amateur. They're just shook dudes, man. The way they fell apart, making all these... I've never heard... Bearing in mind, these are meant to be business people as well. I've never seen a business team fall apart so drastically. 24-hour offer. No, we can't meet in person. No, you can't see a contract. No, we can't go. No, you must... It was craziness. What deal in history do you know has been made without a meeting? These Shelley Winkle, no, you must agree first before we meet. No, we've got no business to be meeting. What's wrong with these dudes? It's goofy, man. Proper goofy behaviour. Well goofy. And the fact people can watch that stuff play out and still, LDBC, ultra low IQ dudes, oh man, like Blue Balls the other day, oh man, oh yeah, we need to put pressure on Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn needs to do this, Eddie Hearn needs to do that. I know that Deontay Wilder wants to fight. I know more than anything. You know, how do you know that? Based on what? Based on him turning down every single offer. But he has no problem fighting stiffs all his life. Like, isn't it interesting that, and this goes for both Fury and Wilder, but they fit into a similar kind of set, because I find it amazing that Fury and Wilder, they're able to make a fight happen, yeah, but yet AJ, who comes along and offers them multiples more, I'm talking, let's get it right, Wilder versus Fury, Wilder will not make $10 million. He'll barely make 5. In fact, the first fight he made 4, for example. That's what we do know. AJ comes along and times that by 20, and all of a sudden these men are offered more money, they're offered more belt opportunities, they're offered more prestige, given that AJ's essentially the bona fide champion, he's known as the world champion, 3 belts, cash cow, etc, etc. You're offered all of these perks, which in theory, in normal rational business terms, yeah, having more belts, having 20 times more money offered, having more prestige offered, being able to do it on a bigger stage in front of more fans, etc, etc. Normally that encourages fighters, because for all the reasons I've just listed. Why would you not want to fight for more belts? Why would you not want to unify? Why would you not want to beat the main guy? The big stiff weightlifter, the big stiff chinless weightlifter. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And the only thing, I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again, the only thing that actually, when you be honest with yourself, the only thing that satisfies that equation, i.e. the only thing that answers why is it Fury and Wilder can make a fight together for 1/10 of the money, for no belts, relatively speaking, and no prestige, etc, etc. The only thing that satisfies that is the fact they are shook to pieces. They're like, what it comes down to is they're essentially saying the fact they turned down the offer, the 10 times more expensive offer from AJ to fight for less against each other, that proves that they're saying, AJ, you can take your 10 times more money, you can take your 3 belts, we don't want that, that's not worth our health. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. What else would you do it then? But someone please explain. If Fury really ain't bothered, if Wilder really ain't bothered, you've got to have both of the same fights, still got to have 12 times 3-minute fights, so why would you not want to be paid 10 times more? The only thing that makes sense to me, or to anyone rational, is the fact that it's not worth it to them. It's not worth getting whooped around the ring. And to be fair, I don't think Fury has any chance, but Wilder, you'd think he'd be thinking, you know what, why not? What have I got to lose? But he has got a lot to lose. And look at his career. I keep saying it as well, but it's the truth. Look at his career. He actually has. People think I'm joking as well when I say this, but hand on my heart, if someone put a gun to my head and said, why be serious, I'd say exactly the same thing. I genuinely know this. Wilder is scared of anyone who's athletic and has power. Look at his career. He fights a load of unathletic, old people with certified no power. That is his bottom line. He does not want to go anywhere near anyone. He's a bully, essentially. Wilder is a big, skinny bully. He likes to bully people. He likes to go into fights knowing, you know what, even if I lose this fight, it's going to be because I lost on points. I know for a fact Fury ain't going to knock me out. I know for a fact old dinosaur Tease ain't going to knock me out. I know for a fact Bermain Stavern ain't going to knock me out. And that's why you see throughout his career, when it came to Vitali, when it came to Vladimir, when it came to AJ, when it came to Dillian White, when it came to Dubois, when it came to... See what I mean? Maybe it's pure coincidence that Wilder has never fought a proper puncher. And I'm waiting for the day he does, because the day he does, I won't be able to say this anymore. The day he steps in the ring with any one of these cats, I'm going to be kind of sitting there thinking, you know what, mate, I must have been wrong about him, but I'm sorry. Up until this day, the best name you've got is Ortiz. A man who went life and death with Christian Hammer. Are you serious? Just think about what you're saying here. It's madness. Anyway, I'm glad to hear that this interview was sick from AJ. It certainly set the pace for what's going to happen going forward. I want to see it build from here now. And I'm so gassed to hear him talking about how to beat Wilder. How to beat... The words that came out of his mouth were exactly what I've been saying. Don't need to outbox him. Get on top of him. Don't give him no space. Get on top of him and maul him. Proper. Maul him. He can't fight on the inside. But like I said, I'm not even sure we're going to see the fight, if truth be known. I'm just not sure. Let's not forget this whole build-up, or the build-up before June 1st. Wilder, do you remember what Wilder was saying? Wilder was saying, oh man, I think people have forgot. Let me remind you, Wilder was saying, oh man, we're going in our own direction. We got our own plans. Do you remember that? Do you remember when AJ and Eddie Hearn actually offered him 50-50? What did he say to that? Oh man, we got Adam Kalinowski and Luis Ortiz, and we got to fight Dominic. We got to rematch Dominic Brazil, and we got to rematch Luis Ortiz for a third time, and we got our own plans, and we going in our own direction. Do you remember that? Let's not forget that. That's actually what came out of his mouth. 50-50. You know what? We've got other things to do. We're going to go on our own path, and I stand by that. I don't see anything changed. What's changed? Oh, you know what? We're going to fight. He could have. He doesn't need to fight Fury. He could have come out and said, you know what, AJ, the Fury fight's there, but I want you bad. I want you badly. Let's see if we can sack off your two mandatories who don't deserve it, Pulev and Usyk, and get a unification fight going. After all, unifications do supersede mandatories. That's what he could have done. Instead, oh no, you know what, I'll turn down the AJ fight and I'll go and fight a man who really, even if he isn't shot, Fury ain't got no power. Let's be real now. Even if he ain't. Even if he's in his prime, he ain't got no power. He ain't going to hurt Wilder. Or not going to... He hasn't got the ability to match fire with fire.